from the random characters added to the show to plot lines that happened completely different. These are the major differences between The Walking Dead show and the comic. In a world swarming with the undead, where survival is a constant battle, there exist two captivating dimensions that have kept us on the edge of our seats: The Walking Dead comic and its blockbuster television adaptation. As fans, we've journeyed through post-apocalyptic landscapes, witnessed gruesome deaths, and felt our hearts race with every unexpected twist. But just like a horde of walkers, the differences between the comic and the show lurk beneath the surface, waiting to be explored. It's time to unravel the mysterious deviations and dive deep into the murky waters of this undead paradox. Join us as we dissect the evolution of our beloved characters, the cunning deviations in plot lines, and the controversies that sparked heated debates within the fandom. If you're thinking about starting the show but don't know what it's about, I'll break it down for you. In The Walking Dead, these brain-craving fiends called walkers are relentless in their pursuit of a flesh-filled feast. They have an acute sense of hearing and smell, making every gunshot or tasty human aroma a dinner bell for them. But spoiler alert, it turns out, humans are all ticking time bombs of zombification. Yep, every one of them carries the pathogen that can turn us into one of these wobbling nightmares. Our hero, the tough-as-nails sheriff's deputy Rick Grimes, wakes up from a coma and quickly realizes the world has gone to walker hell. Armed with his trusty sheriff hat and a heart full of determination, he takes charge of a ragtag group of survivors in the Atlanta region. Their mission to survive. They've got to fend off not only hordes of ravenous walkers, but also other desperate groups of humans willing to go to extreme lengths to stay alive. Alright, now consider this your spoiler warning as we get into the major differences. In the comic book version of The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes had to play the role of a pseudo-zombie scientist, uncovering the gory secrets of the zombification process. It was a real DIY project of dismemberment and discovery. But guess what? He found out that every single human, whether they got bitten or not, was destined to join the ranks of the undead. Now, shifting gears to the small screen, Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes had it a little easier in the show. In the jaw-dropping Season 1 finale, our hero had a cozy chat with Noah Emmerich's CDC virologist, Dr. Edwin Jenner. And boy did Jenner spill the guts. He revealed that all humans were ticking time bombs of zombification, regardless of a nasty walker nibble. It was really an, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime kind of moment. So much so that co-creator Robert Kirkman regretted it. He said, "If I had to do it again, I wouldn't have done the CDC episode at the end of Season 1. It possibly gave away too much information and was such a big change very early on in the series. I feel like there might have been a better way to wrap up the first season. But there were things in that episode that I think seem very much not of the Walking Dead world. We all make mistakes. It's okay, did you know Daryl Dixon doesn't exist in the comics? Well, now you do. When Daryl Dixon first shuffled onto the scene, the show's creators had a different vision for him. They imagined him as a scruffy, drug-addicted character, a real wild card. Norman Reedus stepped in and gave the character a complete makeover, transforming him into the rebellious, crossbow-wielding outsider we all know and love today. Talk about a lucky break. Daryl not only survived the Walker apocalypse, but he thrived like a champ. And let me tell you, he's not just a side character collecting dust in the background. My friend, Daryl has become a bona fide headline star, stealing the spotlight with his rugged charm and unparalleled survival skills. Pretty good for a character that doesn't even have a comic book origin to lean on. Get this, Frank Darabont made the Daryl Dixon role specifically for Reedus because everyone involved had been so impressed with Reedus's readings. One of the most upsetting moments in the show was when Sophia turned into a walker, because in the comics, it never happened. Season 2 of The Walking Dead gave us a hunt that felt like it would never end. Poor little Sophia went missing, and the search for her dragged on like a slow zombie. When Sophia finally emerged from that barn with the other walkers under Herschel's care, jaws dropped and hearts skipped a beat. It was a shocking twist that left a lasting mark on the early seasons and had a profound impact on Carol's state of mind. In the pages of the comics, Sophia had a much different fate. No depressing walker reveal for her. By the time the comics came to a close, Sophia had actually outlived her mother, Carol, by a long shot. The Walking Dead TV show decided to shake things up and take a different route, straying away from the comic storylines. It was a deliberate move to keep fans on their toes and bring fresh challenges to the characters we know and love. This change allowed Carol to have a different future. Ricky Grimes had a distinguishing feature that set him apart from his TV counterpart: a missing hand. Rick's hand met a grisly fate when it was brutally chopped off by the sadistic governor during a tense encounter in Woodbury. With one hand down, he faced the challenges of rebuilding society and protecting his group with a fierce determination that could make even the walkers tremble. As much as fans yearned to witness Rick's one-handed adventures on screen, the creative team decided to give CGI a break and forgo that particular element of his journey. It's understandable, really. The logistics and cost of constantly manipulating Rick's hands with CGI would have been quite the challenge. One of the most heart-wrenching tragedies in Rick Grimes' life was the loss of his wife, Lori. In the comic book version of The Walking Dead, Lori's fate takes a devastating turn. Seeking shelter within the prison walls, she finds herself trying to hide with baby Judith. But tragedy strikes when a resident of Woodbury named Lily takes a fatal shot, killing Lori. To make matters even more heartrending, Lori falls on top of Judith, leading to the infant's suffocation. But on the small screen, the TV show managed to keep little Judith alive. But that didn't mean Lori's fate was any less grim. During the prison raid in Season 3, Lori was still pregnant and gave birth to Judith with the assistance of Maggie, who stepped up to the task. However, the scarcity of medical supplies complicated matters, and Lori tragically passed away after the delivery. It's a heartbreaking moment that left viewers in tears. But hey, there's a silver lining amidst the darkness. Judith, the newborn survivor, grew up to become a formidable young girl, fearlessly stomping walkers left and right. Judith isn't the only deviator. In Season 3, Andrea shockingly aligned herself with the governor. Her fate was sealed when the governor trapped her with a zombified Milton, leading to her being bitten. To avoid turning, Andrea ultimately chose to end her own life. In the comic book version, Andrea embarked on a vastly different path. She became the love of Rick's life, a mother figure to Carl, and one of the most well-developed characters in the source material. Her death came much later in the storyline, as she valiantly fought off walkers while attempting to save Eugene during a massive herd event. The TV show's creative choices left viewers stunned, while comic readers witnessed Andrea's evolution into a beloved and complex character. The Walking Dead show and the comic have taken divergent paths, creating a dynamic and unpredictable narrative experience for fans. Both iterations of The Walking Dead offer unique and compelling stories within the zombie-infested world, ensuring that fans can enjoy distinct experiences across different forms of media. So, from the plot lines that happen completely differently, to random characters added to the show. These were the major differences between The Walking Dead show and the comic.